Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Final Fantasy XIV. In the last part, we started off the 3.1 story. We're still dealing with the aftermath of what happened at the end of the base story of Heavensward. And lots of stuff happened. Now, with 3.1 out of the way, I can now do the Warring Triad quests. I did this before. I attempted to do this at last parts, but I needed to progress with the story before I could actually make any form of progression. So this is actually started in Ishgard in the Foundation by the Four Taunts Manor by some guy next to his house. Gods of El is the quest that you're looking for. It will lead you to here. He will have you go around and kill Ravana and Bismarck EX as the first step of this quest. I already did it. So yeah, there's that. So now we can now do the War Triad stuff. When the bow wakes. Time has come, Warrior of Light. We must move against the Warring Triad now or suffer the consequences. The seal is cracked and the eikons stir. Should they be allowed to awaken and resume their titanic conflict, it will be like the second coming of a second calamity. You, Cecil, represent our best hope of eliminating this threat. That said, the very act of entering a containment facility itself presents certain unique challenges. So unique, in fact, that I struggled to locate an individual with the requisite talents to surmount it. Were it not for the impressively diverse connections of your fellow scions, I might still be searching. Happily, however, they were able to furnish me with a suitable candidate. Now, along with you and your echo-blessed companions, all the pieces are needed to proceed, and with this deadly game are arrayed upon the board. Victory hinges upon no less than the total destruction of the Warring Triad. But you must also be aware of the interference of those who cover the Allagan's primal harnessing technology. I speak, of course, of the blindly grasping hand of the Guardian Empire and its fumbling agents. The ignorant meddling of the Empire will serve only to hasten the eikons' awakening, and it is my master's desire that the Triad be dispatched before Imperial forces delve too deeply. Being the nearest to wakefulness, the eikons' Sephiroth shall be your first adversary. Make your preparations and join me in the flagship and as is law. We shall speak further there. Alright. Let's get this out of the way. I don't think this is a very long quest line for the Warring Triads. So not to worry. My goal for today is to at least get through at least through the story of Heavensward. With how expansion and post-game story goes, the story of an expansion goes all the way up to the 0.3 updates, the 0.3 patches. And then once 0.4 comes around, they start to introduce elements and things that lead into the next expansion. So my goal today is to at least get through 3.3. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Where you at? Oh, there you are. This is the place, Warrior of Light. Here we will find the containment facility where entities of incalculable power lie chained. Their fathomless energy is siphoned away by Allagan devices. As I warned you, Sephiroth poses the most immediate threat. His dreaming mind drifts perilously close to consciousness, thus must this destruction be my first concern. Your fellow Scions will be joining us anon, accompanied by the uniquely talented individual of whom I spoke. From what I gather, the two of you are already well acquainted. Let's continue inside and wait before the doors to the containment facility. Alright, what do you say, guy? Ooh. Urianger, Y'shtola, and Kryl. You've not been waiting long, I trust. We are eager to lend whatever cooperation we may make to your missions, Hesla. It's an honor to meet you at last. And as I know of only one Makati Scion, you must be Archon Y'shtola, meaning your diminutive companion here is Mistress Kryl of the students of Baldessian, correct? Diminutive? Perhaps there was been some mistake. I assume it was for my knowledge and not my stature that you requested my assistance. The mistake is mine. My apologies if I have given offense. Maybe it would be best if we proceed directly to the matter of our objectives. Your adversary is the icon Sephiroth of the Warring Triad, otherwise known as by the historians of Allagan as the Fiend. He was once the patron deity of a tribe of tree-like beings native to Mericidia, but was subdued by the Allagan Empire after a lengthy war of attrition. Oops. After his defeat, he was imprisoned for use as a source of power. Even now, Sephiroth is neither truly living nor dead. His mind bound in a dream, while his body energies are harnessed by Allagan technologies. The explanation for this failure to dissipate into ether lies in his strengths. These ingenious devices serve not only to bind him, but to continuously regenerate his corporeal form. Meaning it'll be all but impossible to banish him while a set of restraints are in place, yes? Remove them, however, and we risk allowing an unfathomably powerful and doubtless vengeful icon to run rampant. It seems we have no choice but to divide our forces. One team must locate the controls to Sephiroth's shackles and disable them, while the other stands ready to destroy him at the moment of his awakening. A most succulent assessment, Mistress Kryl. While I was aware that the Echo provided you with uncanny insight, I did not expect you to intuit the core of my strategy quite so swiftly. I mean, it's a pretty obvious strategy. I mean, you don't have to be a genius to figure it out. Ha! If only my gift offered such detailed analysis, which is to say, it doesn't. I merely took it upon myself to learn as much about the Triad's imprisonment as I could before coming here. It'll be Cecil and I after all who enter the Icon's den. Indeed. Given the nature of our adversary, none save those under the aegis of the Echo should be permitted to enter the containment facility. The risk of primal influence is too great. Well, that's settled. That's settled then. I'll disable the strains from Cecil, and her gifted adventurer friends will welcome Sephiroth back into the waking world. Better that than the other way around, I'd say, considering our respective fields of expertise, and of course my diminutive stature. Right, it's time I had a little chat with the doorkeeper over there. Activate verification systems, lifting access restriction to Triad control. And that was easy. I had no idea that the Baldessian curriculum was so comprehensive. When we locate the controls of Sephiroth's restraints, I shall gladly leave their operation to you. When we locate the controls, my words were unclear. Only those blessed with the Echo may safely enter the facility. Your concern for my safety is touching, but unnecessary. Suffice it to say, I am in no danger of falling under the Icon's sway. Warning! Verification systems detect multiple unauthorized vessels entering restricted airspace. Security systems engaging intruders. The Garleans. Come, Urianger, we must keep the Garleans occupied. What is Urianger gonna do? I've never seen Urianger fight once. We too should be on our way. Gods, I would be lying if I said I wasn't slightly terrified. But I can't very well leave every deadly task to you Scions. According to his history, Sephiroth was immense in both size and strength, mighty enough to rout even the implacable armies of the Allagans, and that more than once. To cut a long story short, we have to get this right. I should do my best not to wake the Icon up too much. As my grandfather always used to say of certain little monsters, get them up and get them moving while their brains are still in bed. Alright. Containment Bay S1T7 has been inaccessible. Alright. Since it's a new day, I expect the queues to be a lot better. Especially since... Alright. Haha, a lot better. Instant queues, but as it should be. Ooh, look at that thing. Supposed to be fun. It's Titan on steroids. Boom! All right, let's do it for real this time. Something else is new too. Pestilent Northerners, you shall regret the decision to loosen my fetters. The equilibrium of life, I shall tint thy scales and partake thy boundless energy. So many Sephiroth edgies. Patience and penance for millennia have yearned to enact this vengeance. Oh, and he fell off. He exploded in the green light. And he comes back. I am the end of the beginning. On my touch shall your wretched lives be blessed. Look at the size of this thing. You dim my boundless light. What power of death do you wield? Mortals wield. But in fact, you can fall off the edge too, so, yeah. I never really understood this pet. I'm the incarnation of life! No, you aren't. You just died. Alright. Nice. You did it! I've seen you in action before, but never against anything that big. My legs kept telling me to run, but I just couldn't tear myself away. I didn't think I blinked once during the whole battle. A hero tried and true. If only I had possessed such strength. Ishtola, this is Cryo. Icon eliminated. Oh, if only you could have seen it. Cecil gave Sephiroth the mother of all rude awakenings. And your distraction was perfect. We encountered not a single Imperial soldier. Yes, understood. Let's swap tales at the Rising Suns then. On our path to control the control chamber, we discovered a number of dormant thralls. It would seem the machines that preserve their forms are also hold them in a state of torpor. We need not fear them summoning their deity anew. In short, our work here is done. For the present, at least. Let's go home, shall we? What's he looking at? Well, look who it is! It's this guy who got away from us before. Your senses are sharp, young one. I am Regola von Hydrus, the gaze of the 6th Legion. And it would seem that that damnable woman and her accomplice have led me to a merry dance to the thickest of this infernal island's defenses. To think that I pursued them. I shall withdraw for now. My lesson learned. I doubt it. You Guardians never learn. You covet the means of enslaved primals, but in your headlong dash to control that which you do not understand, you show less wisdom than the very beast tribe that summoned them. I have no interest in crossing bodies with children. Live, grow strong, and mayhap one day you'll warrant my attention. Ooh. Look back, you weren't there. Did something happen? Not of consequence. I mistook a shadow for a man. Just what are you hiding beneath that mask of yours? Longing for hope, an appetite for power, a lingering sense of regret. And I do detect a desire to test your strength against a certain hero. Is that what your gifts tell you? No, those are just wild guesses. But I wonder if some few of my words didn't strike close to the mark. Or may have more than a few. Be at ease, Unu Kalai. I have no supernatural ability to read minds. The echo simply allows me to comprehend, regardless of language of which a fellow being would have me know. You need not mask your heart as you do your countenance. That was a performance then. A ruse to uncover my true nature. I see I shall have to keep my wits about me. Alright. Back to the Rising Stones. Now, assuming I don't have to do any more story, I can just finish off and do the next batch of Warring Triad stuff. Warring Triad. Assuming, we'll find out. So, Warrior of Light, how did it feel to strike down so great a foe? You must tell me more of the experience once our meeting with your colleagues is concluded. What now? Through thine all-surpassing skill at arms, do we now take our first step in reeling the star of the Warring Triad's baleful presence. And in such wise do we lessen the burden bequeathed unto us by the vainglory of the Allagan. Know, however, that the two icons which remain are thought equal in might to Sephiroth, and may yet exceed him. Ere thou proceed, I would counsel thee to marshal thy strength and give careful thought to thy preparation. Assuming the Guardians afford us the luxury of time, even now they grasp for the means to dominate primals, blind to the technology's potential for calamity. My master taught me that the entity known as Sephiroth was the world's first sacred tree, elevated to godhood by the belief of its worshippers. There is no There's no power more fearsome than that born from unconditional faith and unbending ideal. 'Tis plain your master found in your grueling student. Tell me, was it he who taught you the Allagan technology? Allagan technology's potential for calamity, or are those your own words? 'Twas but a figure of speech, nothing more. When last we met, I thought I caught a glimpse of the boy behind the mask, but it would seem your defenses are firmly back in place. Must you persist with this infuriating veil of secrecy? I, for one, would very much like to know who this master of yours is, amongst other things. As long as our purposes align, what matter of my affiliation? It matters a great deal. I do not ask out of curiosity. If we are to fight as comrades, we need to be able to trust each other. On which note, I should apologize for my earlier trickery. It was merely an attempt to get to the heart of an enigmatic companion. Truth be told, I was rather glad you reacted as you did. No person of your age has any business being calm and aloof all the time, much as you might wish to be. Anyway, we had best be off. Do send word if there are any other developments. A companion now, am I? Alright, let's find out if I can do more. I can! Sweet! Oh wait, is this the... Oh, I think this unlocks the extreme variant. I don't really care about that. Yeah, that unlocks the extreme variant. Here we go. This is the next step. I am troubled, Warrior of Light. The 6th Legion will not soon surrender its pursuit of Allagan technology. While it is true that the 6th suffered heavy losses in attempting to breach Az's Law's defenses, the Legion is still very much a force to be reckoned with. Left to his own devices, it will not be long before the Legatus moves to... Excuse the interruption, but a call to this link book can only come from one of your fellow Scions. Arkanystola! What news? And you're quite certain that they have broken through? Yes, of course. We shall leave immediately. It would seem the thing I feared most has come to pass. The Guardians have succeeded in dispelling the barrier Urianger placed upon the entrance to the research facility. We must intercept and destroy them before they can acquire the means to control primal entities. Arkanystola requests that we assemble at the scene of the intrusion. Pray depart at once. I will join you when I have informed the other Scions of this development. Alright, back to Az's Law. Might as well swing by over there and get the extreme variant of Sephiroth unlocked. Since I'm in that direction anyway. God damn, this ship is just way too big. It reminds me of the Bahamut ship from Final Fantasy XII. Alright. Get this. There we go. I know Selv's gonna do all the side quests, but yeah, there's just way too many. I fell too far behind, so I'm not even gonna bother at this point. I see we are first to arrive. No matter, your colleagues should be here on. They are wise to indeed to keep this area under surveillance. Had the Guardians slipped by unnoticed, they did not think of the consequences. Arkanystola set forth for Azazon when it became apparent that the Legatus was attempting to breach the barrier, and arrived to find that he had succeeded. We must hope that he has yet to find his prize. Well met, Unukai, and thank you for answering my summons so swiftly, Cecila. We shall be glad of your presence that we should meet with the 6th Legion, as it seems all but certain. As you may be aware, this facility houses some of Allagan's most advanced technology. Accordingly, Urianger is sought to deny the Empire easy ingress by weaving a ward of singular potency. Not singular enough, it would seem. I would be surprised if the Legatus had not reached the core laboratories already. It is passing strange. I wove the ward in accordance with the most closely guarded teachings of the Archmages of Sharlayan. Not was left to chance. Not. 'Tis well known that the child of Garlemald have no talent for arcane manipulation, nor hath the Empire more than cursory knowledge of the sorcery. That they should succeed in rallying so complex a skin of magecraft, and with such surpassing swiftness is dispatching strange. That it is, Urianger, but 'tis a mystery of another day. Archon surely has the right of it. Before all else, we must move to safeguard the knowledge which enabled the Allagans to harness the primal energies. A particular concern is the Genesis expression, an ethereal chemical formula that allowed the scholars of yore to create substance from nothingness. I know of no such formula. Whence came you by this information? From your enigmatic master, perchance? He did furnish me with the morsel, yes, and knowing exactly which prize the Legatus now seeks enables us to predict his position. Do you not see? We have been gifted the perfect opportunity to remove the head of an entire legion. I didn't think you'd be quite so bloodthirsty, Unukalai. Surely safeguarding secrets should take precedence over slaying Legatuses. Coriolis' sentiments reflect my own, yet the two objectives need not be mutually exclusive. What say you, Urianger? Urianger? Ah, forgive me, my thoughts were bound on idle imaginings. In answer to thy question, my lady, I am content to be led by thee in this matter. Right. I've enabled the facility's teleporters. Shall we? You dwell on the matter on the barrier. I do. Verily, which was a warding spell of labyrinth and intricacy, the brainchild of the head of the students of Baldessi himself. Even the most learned Archon would require several moons to disentangle such enchantment. To do so in mere bells would require some preternatural power akin to the very echo itself. Okay, whatever you say. All right. Good. The Guardian struck for the heart of the facility, and the Legatus spearheads this third charge. We must be swift in our pursuit. Dead. I'm dead. Oh, there he is! Legatus himself is here! After him! Oh, he got away. Yeah, man, he bolted ahead. I shall contend with this foe. Press onward, my comrades. Works for me. There, it's Mount Hydrus! Blah! Sessa, Cryle needs you! I already helped her. Mrs. Cryle! Go! I'll stand guard over Mrs. Cryle. Let's keep the Legatus from his prize. We leave in your care then. You best keep her safe, Unukalai. quickly inside the barrier. The central laboratory should be up ahead. Let's hurry along, shall we? There it goes! I see him running off in the distance. After the Legatus. Where the hell do these things come from? And then still they come. Press on, Cecil. I'll handle this. I have exposed the bones of their work, now to extract the marrow. Even in the mode of my triumph, you persist in your misguided crusade. So be it. I shall present my prize to the Emperor alongside your head. You don't scare me. Great attack, guy. You swung at nothing. My weapons inhibitors exist for a reason. So I'll not lose to you again. Not this day. What you do now, buddy? Cecilla. The tumult is unbreached then. Cryle. My wounds will not slow my blade should you seek to bar my path. And you would slay me, no doubt, but it'll be your final act. You're surrounded, buddy. What are you gonna do? What madness afflicts you, Eorzean fools? The Emperor but desires a means to shackle the eikons of their destructive appetites. Why do you rail against your own salvation? It is not for man to wield such power. The primal energy Emperor seeks to contain would be as kindling waiting for a spark. Forget not the White Raven, Legatus. Like thee, he presumed to wield the power of the Allagan and divide the calamity in so doing. This star's fate is far too important to be desired by any one man, a warmongering savage least of all. Have care, boy. You speak of my Emperor. But dying here in defense of his honor will not further his cause. Flashbang! Well, well, I appear not to be dead. Huh? Ow! Cryo! I may have cracked a rib or two, but I'll be fine, honestly. Our foes have gave no quarter. Had Unikali not stinted in his defense of thee, thou mayest be certain thy hurts will be far worse. I do not care. I could do no less. Mistress Cryo is here at my behest, after all. The secrets of Allagan are safe for the present, though 'tis doubtful the Legatus will return to Garlemald till the prize he coveteth lieth in his grasp. Then we must redouble our efforts to protect this place. Cryo and I will place additional seals upon the tomolith. Unukale. I appreciate you staying at my side. Thank you. "'Twas not." Oh, please. It was a good deal more than that. You know it. Now, let me help you. When a woman thanks you for saving her life, the customary response is, "You're welcome." You're welcome. Alright. Ain't that just heartwarming? Urianger, are the new wards already in place? My colleagues yet toil upon their enchantments. I come onto thee in secret, that I might question thee outside their hearing. Question me? I would speak with the one who undid my subtlest magecraft, he who invited an Imperial Legatus into this facility in hopes of engineering the man's demise at the hands of the Warrior of Light. You accuse me of masterminding this day's events? The plan may have been thy master's, but the deed was thine. Thou didst lure the Legatus of the Sixth Legion into a trap from which it was not intended to emerge. 'Tis plain to me now that thy seeming optimism in proposing this illumination was feigned, and that his death was the object of thy plan from the first. And do you have proof of this? Thine own words betrayed thee. Thou didst speak of the Empire's desire to claim the Genesis expression, the existence of which even the learned Mistress Cryo was ignorant. Whence then did the Legatus come by such definitive knowledge? And then there is the matter of mine unraveled ward. None save one possessed of an otherworldly gift could so swiftly effect its dissolution. Know thee of another blessed with such? Some of these accusations have merit. What then? Full many times and oft doth the pursuit of truth lead men down darkened paths. I take no issue with thy purpose, but 'tis but thy method I would call into question. In the Gaian Empire we have a common foe. Hadst thou deigned to share thy intentions with Cecil or Mistress Cryo, 'tis like that we would have closed the trap with less risk to life and more success. I sought to use the most dangerous of secrets of Allagan as bait. Who among you would agree to such worthless plan? None, and with good cause. Irrespective, thou wert remiss in thy duty to thy comrades. I note that with some disappointment that in matters concerning the primals and those who would control them, the cold rationality upon which thou didst pride thyself is conspicuous by its absence. Know that the salvation of the star is an end too vast for any of us to accomplish alone. Shouldst thou fail to trust in thy comrades, I foresee thy actions precipitating some terrible misfortune. Indeed. My sincerest apologies, Cecila. Urianger is correct in his suspicions. It was I who orchestrated this encounter with the Empire. I would ask thou to forgive when we call out for this transgression, and keep mention of it from Mrs. Cryo. 'Twould be a pity for one foolish decision to wither their budding camaraderie ere it had a chance to bloom. There you are, you rotten idler! And you still realize we were struggling with the words alone, which here was absolutely livid. Never mind the Warring Triad. I've awoken Archon and Stilla's tempestuous wrath. In supplicant mood shall I return at once, and then atone for mine indulgence. Come, Cessa. It's time we return to the Rising Stones. Well, we all got motives, I guess. I was kind of expecting to do the next, the next trial, but maybe not. Once again, I must apologize for acting without your consent or counsel. As a gesture of repentance and a sign of good faith, allow me to share something myself with you. As the Urianger suspected, I possess the gift of the Echo, though it is of a nature different from yours. Regardless, I would use my gift for the self-same purpose, the salvation of the star, and nothing poses a greater threat to the world than the proliferation of primal and harnessing technology. This I know only too well. What I am about to divulge concerns the fate of another star entirely. On this other world, a magic was devised that allowed the realm's champions to use a stone known as Auracite to contain the power of primals. So armed, these heroic souls conquered god after god, oblivious to their weapons' fatal imperfection, its propensity to bleed primal energies. And with each victor, the heroes changed, transforming at last to fiends of endless appetite. Insatiable in their hunger for ether, they ultimately went to war over the star's ever-dwindling life force, and fought until there was nothing left. Thus, as Urianger so astutely observed, when I faced with those who rushed to embrace power unchecked, I lose all semblance of rationality. Know that my master, too, cares deeply about the fate of the star. I am his servant, his instrument, sent here to ensure that the same tragedy does not consume another world. Oh, interesting. God damn. Warrior of life, this world is to survive, we must needs move forward with our plan. Another pillar of the Warring Triad must be toppled. The question of which has already been answered. Following our encounter with the Legatus, Archon Yashtar detected erratic etheric waveforms emanating from the sector containing the icon Sophia, known simply as the Goddess in former times. Such readings can only mean one thing. She is close to awakening. Let's return to Azazel forthwith and put an end to this primal deity, lest she rise again in all her terrible glory. You know, his story reminds me of the story of Shadowbringers. I don't know if that's, I don't know if the two are related. Probably not, but it reminds me of Shadowbringers. And, I don't really want to say anything about Shadowbringers. Because there are a lot of people who haven't experienced Shadowbringers. And, yeah. And even though I've already got, I don't know, I want to do that. And even though I've already been through the entirety of Shadowbringers, well, I can't really say I want to go in as blind as possible. I can't use that. Well, I'll just keep it. I'll keep it to myself. Going back down here, huh? We appear to be the first to arrive. Shall we wait for our colleagues here? Sure. Oh, what was that? Could the 6th Legion have returned? Cecila, Unukalai! We're under attack. You're still in the re-entry gates if not far from here. Oh, what is this? Hello? Ha! Rather has my shield thus tested. Would seem the Allagans have not been lax in the recruitment. Demiurge? It's a fancy shield. Think you so? Mayhap your armor merely withered while you lay idle. Still your tongues. We have stalled them long enough. With scales in hand, the goddess shall arise and righteously cast off her cursed pall, that she, with a wrathful Worm King on her side, will might judge and thence bring balance unto all. Hear my words in despair, Allagans. Our goddess is awoken. Your civilization has birthed the instruments of its own undoing. Tis well that you're here, Cecila. I should like to know what our sands were saying. You understood their words, did you not? It was a Mercidian dialect. Mine ears did not deceive, though one which beareth scant resemblance to any spoken in recent times. As for our antagonists' meeting, I do gladly defer to those blessed with the echo. The one with the shield seemed like to think we were Allagans. He recited what sounded like a verse of prophecy, then claimed that their goddess is awoken. Is that about right, Cecila? And we assume this deity of theirs is the very icon we've come to topple? Aye, from their tongue, their words, and their attire, it is like our antagonists from Mercidian, thralls to the goddess Sophia, and the victims of the Allagans' incursions. If, as Kral claimeth, they thought us as agents of Allag, 'tis little wonder that they sought to bring us low. You suggest that Sophia's servants have been liberated from their containment? Then we have no choice but to accept word of her awakening as truth. Gods help us! Warring Triad have proven formidable enough when we roused them from a fraction of their true strength. Should Sophia break free at the peak of her power, Cecil and her friends won't stand a chance. Let's be about it then. Cecil, Kyle, Unukale, you three will make for directing for Sophia's containment facility. Ariana and I will do what we can to occupy the Icon's thralls. Alright. Better get a move on. This is Kyle. Do you perchance recall the words of the prophecy in its entirety? Let me see. I believe it was, with scales in hand, the goddess shall arise and righteously cast off her cursed paw, that she, with wrathful Worm King at her side, might judge and thence bring balance unto all. Containment Bay P1T6. Oh, good. Now I gotta wait for this one. Alright. Oh, Lord. Alright. That wait time was a little excessive. A little bit longer than before. What's the zip file though?
みんな、女神ソフィアの討滅任せたわよ。例の信者たちにも気をつけて。
Ugh. It's like Unaleska from Final Fantasy X.
はもたらすものだとでも。この思い明かりを揺らす。そこです。
Ah, there they go! No! They're out of the fight.
そこです。
I guess they're not out of the fight.
罪には罰を。この昭和が魂を救うのです。
There we go. Queen's been dethroned. I see the goddess is no more. Well done. Once Karl and Unikale have rejoined us, we may safely depart. One thing yet puzzles me, however. How does Sophia's servants come to wake from their slumber? I believe we have the answer to that. We discovered the remains of a guardian soldier in an adjacent sector of the containment facility. Just like that, the fool ventured too close to Sophia during the Empire's previous incursion and was enthralled for his troubles. Another reminder, if any were needed, as to the incalculable threat posed by these beings. The goddess would not even have been conscious when she would claim the man's will, yet his mistake granted her the means to release her servants, and would have resulted in her own liberation if we had not been on hand to intervene. I do much wonder about that the Icon's pawn was capable of so effectively manipulating the facility's containment systems. How came he by such rarefied knowledge? That too is easily explained. During our investigation, Karl discovered a subtle flaw in one of the mechanisms which held the goddess in check. A flaw in which had plainly been added intentionally. Upon examining the facility's records of the period, we were able to piece together the story. It was a time towards the end of the Third Astral Era when the peoples of the Mericidia faced extinction at the hands of the Allagan Empire. Sophia, a being of incomparable cunning, was said to have communicated with certain plans to her servants through the medium of a trusted oracle. Following the oracle's instructions, they duly conspired with a rebel faction along with an ally who, we believe, agreed to tamper with the prison intended for Sophia. And then the goddess and her thralls chanced to be captured, though we suspect that this had always been their plan. Indeed, the prison was situated at the heart of the Allagan, and we think they intend to attack the city from within. They would merely have had to wait for the rebels to exploit the weakness in their confines. But the conspirators' dealings with the Mericidians were exposed before they could enact their plot, and all were summarily executed. It seems that the flaw itself remained undiscovered, however, and might have remained so until the end of days had it not been for the actions of the Archbishop and subsequently the Guardians. I cannot help but wonder what might come to pass had their scheme been successful. Mayhap the answer lies in the prophecy. Carl hath the right of it. Its words may be deciphered thus. The cursed Paul speaketh of Sophia's prison, which she's supposed to emerge at the agreed hour. The Worm King, meanwhile, can be none other than the great Bahamut himself, then yet a prisoner whom the gods did intend to unleash upon Allagan, set right the scales of justice. A foolhardy plan. Had it come to fruition, the two of them would surely raise the realm. Not would have been spared the devastation, the Mercidians' homeland included. Their home already stood on the brink of oblivion. Mayhap they wished for naught else but to purge the poison of Allagan with primal fire. The tale teacheth us that even the greatest of man's creations may yet be brought low by a single act of treachery. The Allagans were fools to place their trust in technological bondage. To shackle such beings is but to delay the inevitable. Not save their total destruction shall save us from their menace. Let us return down to the Rising Stones and there consider the final step of this most needful task. The threat posed by this facility is far greater than you imagine, Urianger, and one not limited to the eikons themselves. Sophia's remaining servants must be put down. Warning! Deactivating the stasis chamber support system will result in subject termination. Enter identification code to continue. Oh. Identification code accepted. Subjects terminated. Alright, back to the Rising Stones. As Miss Warrior of Light, Archon still mentioned there was a matter she wished to discuss. What's going on? Well met, Cecila. You'll forgive me if I seem curt, but I would seldom account for our young friend. While conducting a final sweep of Sophia's containment facility, we discovered that all of her remaining thralls had perished in her stasis chambers. This was your doing? Aye, it was. I chose to act upon the knowledge revealed within the tombstone we recovered. The true purpose of these prisons is far more horrifying than we first assumed. The Allagans were not simply observing the eikons and siphoning away their energies. They were conducting experiments in preparation for a far more ambitious project. If you'll recall, both the Fiend and gods were imprisoned within massive spherical structures. These spheres were the prototypes which paved the way for the successful construction of an artificial celestial body. You speak of Dalamud. Aye, the Icon's cages are unmistakably the same design as the Red Moon. To be plain, the research facility contains the seeds of 3 calamities which might feasibly be visited upon a chosen target. Eliminating one of them necessitated the destruction of the goddess' slumbering thralls, a distasteful task unbefitting one such as the Warrior of Light. Thus did I resolve to perform the deed myself. You have made your case, and 'tis apparent that we were not in full possession of the facts. Nevertheless, your notion of what may or may not be expected of Cecila is presumptuous in the extreme. When the Warrior of Light chose to join the Scions, she did so in the knowledge that she would be required to face and destroy not only the Primals, but also their fanatical servants. That which you term a distasteful task is an essential part of our calling, a burden which every Scion is sworn to shoulder. I see. It would seem I misjudged the depth of your resolve. No matter. Assuming I made myself understood, we need not speak of it again. There is, however, one other subject which merits discussion. You determined that Sophia's thralls were awoken by a guardian soldier who had somehow gained access to the containment area, did you not? If that is the case, it seems highly doubtful the interloper wandered into such a dangerous part of the facility by chance. Dissidents within the Empire claim the 6th Legion is rife with agents under orders to thwart the Legatus' mission by any means necessary. Lest you imagine that we have allies in Garlemald, I should clarify that their motive is wholly uncharitable. Regola van Hyris rose to the top of the Garland military on merit alone, and is fiercely loyal to the Emperor for recognizing his efforts. His compeers, by contrast, rose through the favor of his established order, and would accordingly do anything to see him fail. That they would be so reckless. You should believe that the actions of these agents contributed to the recent crisis? Aye, and that they pose no less risk to the realm than those loyal to the Emperor. Plainly, we must need to continue to do all in our power to prevent those technologies of Allag from falling into the hands of man. On that point, at least, we have been in complete agreement. This is for the Sophia Extreme. Greetings, Warrior of Light, but one pillar of the Warring Triad remains. Zervan, the icon known as the Demon. According to the histories I have uncovered, this monstrous being was worshipped by a race of Mercidian beastmen. These creatures are the key to maintaining Zervan's manifestation, and we can be sure that many such thralls will be imprisoned somewhere within the research facility. It is imperative that we determine their exact location as swiftly as possible. We dare not risk repeating the near disaster we suffered at the hands of Sophia's servants. As such, your fellow Scions have already begun an exhaustive search, but there are several factors along which you, Cryle, and I can enter without fear of enthrallment. Let's make our way to Azazlon forthwith and aid in the investigations. Alright. Since this is in the same area, That's good we caught you. The facility has been swarmed with Imperial troops. By their standards, to be judged and judged soldiers of the 6th. Aye, once more doth Regalia von Hydra stretch forth his hand to seize the forbidden fruits of Allag, and once more have our meticulous wars been swept aside like so many cobwebs. Your meddlesome wars were destroyed from within by the pulsating energies of an icon. Nay, put your weapons up. Put up your weapons and listen. The followers of Zervan have awakened, and they toil to rouse their master. The demon's worshippers get slumbered when we confronted Sophia. Could the tampering of her thralls have been as widespread than we thought? They have shared a common enemy. 'Tis not unthinkable that they would seek to free all those Allagans had imprisoned. Yes, the cage doors are open, and while you stand here quibbling away over who picked the locks, my soldiers are inside the facility risking their lives and their sanity. They have volunteered to face death to prevent Servan's servants from awakening him in the fullness of his power. Now, assuming you have at least understood the gravity of the situation, it is time that I rejoin them. But you cannot hope to succeed. The icon will enslave the minds of any who draw near. Thus did I seek out those with the power to resist his influence. Aid us, and mayhap my men will not perish in vain. You propose an alliance. I have delved in the depths of this place and found its technology wanting. These mechanisms have failed to hold their prisoners, and such broken artifacts are unfit to bring before the Emperor. Twice have you bested me in combat. Will you now limit this that strength and stand against our mutual foe? 'Twas in opposing your reckless schemes that Ysayle was lost to us. You expect us to simply forgive and forget all that has come before? I expect you to put aside your emotions and use your better judgment, but of course I'm dealing with savages. I will not stand here and justify the death of the Ice Maiden. You pursued our ideals and you pursued yours. Such was the result, and mayhap you might consider another point. In these endless clashes, we have all lost comrades dear to us. Yet I chose to put aside past grievances and beg your champion's aid, to appeal to your reason. Thou art willing to build a bridge of common purpose upon with such tremulous foundations. I too am hesitant to accept this arrangement, Archon Ishtola, but the offer has been made to the Warrior of Light, and 'tis her involvement which shall ultimately sway its outcome. I shall abide by Cecil's decision. Well, Zerva must be stopped, so... Then, for better or worse, we shall fight at your side. Mistress Cloud and I are also resistant to primal influence, and shall aid you where we can. Then let us be on our way. Well, a very unlikely alliance we got going on here. Our companions have already passed through the research facility. We should not lag behind. The demon stirs. Like a suckling babe, he feedeth upon the ether siphon onto us by his thralls. We must needs deprive him of the sustenance. Then we destroy those devices. Hold! Witness your soldiers! They have turned against the other. Even half awake, Zervan corrupts and converts those who turn into his aura. The three of us then. Sessa, Uno Kalai, we rushed in together and to each disable a generator. We cannot give them a chance to rally a defense. There are 4 mechanisms by my count. Even if I can avoid the icon's miasma, my blade will make short work of the last one. We, all of us, have pledged our lives to. Keep your lives. I'd rather have you tend to my fallen. Some may yet survive with their minds intact. I don't know if my strength will be enough. I am no champion. The battle place is no place for uncertainty, boy. Fate has blessed you with a unique talent and an occasion to use it. Do not waste such a gift. We strike! God, Zervin is... Unakalai! Oh, nice. Oh, shit. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh. God got sliced. He slumbers once more. You saved me. Why? I told you, boy. Yours is a gift too precious to waste. A gift the Emperor may one day have need of in his war upon these untamable eikons. Emperor Varus, he raised me from the ranks, stood against my detractors. I'd gladly give my life in his service. You must finish this. Slay these leeches upon our star. Kill them all. Kill Zervin. And he's dead. Which needs to John prepare our assault. At the cost of his very life, the Legatus hath prized to open us a window of opportunity. Oh boy. He's dead. Had only been stronger. Enough of that. There'll be more time for regrets after we've rid the world of Zervin. Cryle is the right of it. The demon has fallen back into torpor for now, but we must act swiftly if Regala's death is to have meaning. The survivors speak of an army of thralls loose in the facility, and we must assume that these followers continue their efforts to awaken the icon. Let us then concentrate upon diverting them from their task. This is Cryle, Masters Unakalai. Pray that you secure the control of the Zervin's shackles and limit the restoration of his might. Archon your soul, and I shall forge ahead and strike down those thralls as would seek to harry you. Warrior of Light, thine is, as ever, the most perilous duty. Gather to thee thy trusted companions and extinguish from this realm the fires of the demon himself. Works for me. Containment Bay Z139. The last of the Warring Triad. Alright, Zervin. You don't scare me at all. Initiating found disengagement sequence. All non-combat personnel are advised to evacuate. Mine age of slumber is at an end. It's a thousand suns may have set. For the insult of mine imprisonments. Oh shit, I just walked the platform. Well shit. I was too focused on reading. I am Zervin. He who shall bring slaughter and ruin. This gateway sequence complete. My stars shield doth all become ice. I shall rise above all. Bear witness. Oh, I guess these are voiced, so I don't really have to talk. Frozen in time, my armor flame unto eternity's end, my righteous reign. I don't remember how this part of the fight goes. remember if you're supposed to go the opposite side or not. Might be the opposite. Mitch! A little too close for comfort. Just a little too close. All right. Incredible as always, Tesla. Hopefully that'll be the last our world sees of the likes of Zervin. Every one of his thralls have been slain as far as we can determine. Our victory over the Warring Triad is complete. An impossible feat had we not been blessed with your cooperation. Let us not forget the efforts of Regala Van Hydras and his men. Without their noble sacrifice, the demon would have awoken far sooner, and possessed of far more formidable energies. The bodies of the fallen now accompanied the survivors on their return journey to Garlemald. It has been known that the Imperials recognize no god, yet they would honor the dead in their own fashion. And when next we meet, our fleeting alliance will surely be forgotten. 'Twas an interesting exchange nonetheless. They spoke of their present ruler as a man who values self-sufficiency. Varus befriended Regala in their youth, it seems, and he was highly impressed by his martial prowess. It is common knowledge that Regala's rise to Legatus was in great part advocated by the Empire himself. Regala freely admitted his shortcomings when it came to politics, and it was Varus' unconditional support that served to win his undying fealty. One does not expect such tales of comradeship to lurk beneath the Emperor's iron exterior. Contrary to all expectations, the man died a hero. Witnessing the way you all leapt into danger without hesitation, it would seem I am surrounded by heroes. And yet my own actions were aught but heroic. I have not the qualities nor the character to stand at the warrior light's side. What a curious thing to say. Are you truly concerned that you do not measure up to some arbitrary requirement? If you knew of the path I walked to reach this place, then you would understand why I doubt myself so. Return with me to the Rising Stones, and I shall tell you of it. Alright, buddy. Let's hear your story. Man, I probably got like 20 or 30 minutes to shave off just off of wait times. Alright, let's finish up the Warring Triad once and for all. Wrap up this quest line. Alright, what's your story, bud? With your victory reserve and the Warring Triad is finally defeated. I'm afraid, however, that my own efforts have been often more hindrance than help, and you and your fellow scions deserve the reasons behind my actions. I promise to tell you of my journey, of who I am, of where I'm from. The truth is, I am not of this world. I was born of a different star, a child whose power of the echo was too feeble to save his dying world. child who, unlike you, never became a warrior of light. When all I knew stood on the brink of destruction, I was half grown. Had I been born a handful of years earlier, history may have written a different tale. Seeds of other heroes that had yet to fully sprout may not have withered and perished. The star I failed to save was known as the Void, to you now as the Void. Though Sessa knew not that I spoke of my homeland, I explained to her before the cause of its ruin. A magic was devised to contain a defeated primal's might within a stone known as Auracite, and the energies which bled from this imperfect vessel gradually corrupted the champions who wielded it. These heroes became slaves to an insatiable hunger for ether, eventually transforming into hideous fiends, and none who clung to the faint traces of light were strong enough to oppose them. The demons next turned upon each other in a war which drained the land's ether in ever greater amounts, until one day the star was suddenly swallowed in a flood of darkness. The entire world unmade in an instant. The voids that you encounter here in this realm are the twisted remnants of once mortal beings who gnaw on what motes of life force remain. Really? Interesting. And as I lay dying, beaten and broken in my failed last stand, 'twas my present master who found my tormented spirit and bore me away to the rift betwixt worlds. 'Twas he who first introduced me to Urianger. At my mentor's feet did I learn of the nature of reality, of the existence of the mirrored worlds, and the eternal struggle between dark and light. Such sudden and overwhelming superiority for either side will shatter the balance, and the world in question will be returned to the void by a calamity beyond imagining. As the self-appointed custodian of this balance, my master warned me that the source, the first of all worlds, slips perilously close to oblivion. In what spirit did this master proffer such a warning? A benevolent gesture or a veiled threat? To these questions and more do I mean to coax forth answers. Yet no matter his intention, that Highland doth teeter on a knife's edge is an undeniable truth. Knowing this, what choice was given to you to make? I chose to join my master and act as an instrument of the star. The tragedy that befell my home cannot be repeated. I will see this world saved. And yet I hesitate at the most crucial of moments. What right do I have to stand alongside a true warrior of light? In thine own words, thou wert called upon for thy time. I offer that thou dwellest overmuch in the question of what maketh the hero. The search for the answer lieth paralyzed by doubt. Heed me, Master Unukalai. Thou needest not believe thyself a hero to perform great deeds. 'Tis the deed itself which earneth thee the hero's mantle. Aye, the ideals you hold on can be no less important than having the faith to act upon them. Margola's loyalty to the Emperor guided his actions until the last, and though we did not see eye to eye on many things, his final deeds can be called not less than heroic. Personally, I find that faith in my companions allowed me to act unhindered by uncertainty. I know that I shouldn't. I know that I ever faltered. Cecily will be there to support me, or steer me back onto the right path if needed. I see. In the days leading up to my world's destruction, I was entirely alone. I never knew what it was to have such comrades. I cannot imagine the loneliness you must have felt. But look around you now, Unukalai. You're not alone anymore. Welcome to the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Ooh, sweet! I will fulfill my promise to save this world, and when I stumble, shall be glad to have your hands there to steady me. My apologies. This is difficult for me. For so long have I spoken behind a mask. We should all feel comfortable speaking without such concealments. I should hope you appreciate the irony of that statement, Urianger. All right. Well, that was the story. All right. And this just unlocks the extreme. But that's it for the Warring Triad. Oh, this is gonna be a really edited down video. So with that out of the way, there's now nothing stopping us to doing the post game dungeon, or not the post game dungeons, the post game story. So when we come back, we continue the story and make our way towards Stormblood. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next part. Later.